Good evening, everyone. This is January 2nd, a Board of Trustees organizational meeting. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll call the roll. Dr. Cross? Here. Mr. Stubbs? Here. Mr. Potter? Here. All are present. Additionally, here at the head table, we have Police Chief Shane Birch, Road Superintendent Jeremy Holbrook, and our WebEx administrator tonight, Scott Hamilton. And as I said, this is a special organizational meeting of the trustees. We would start with visitor comments, but the room is empty, so I don't think we have any visitor comments. So our first item of business tonight is to elect a president of the Board of Trustees for 2025. Anyone care to make a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Jake Stubbs.
Second.
Any other nominations? Can I have a motion to close the nominations?
I move to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor of closing the nominations?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will now vote on the nomination of Jake Stubbs to be president of the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Mr. Stubbs, you're the 2025 president. You may stay where you are. If you'd like to move to the center, that's up to you. If you're okay there tonight,
Fine. No, I'm not.
we'll put you in the center for the next meeting. Okay, our next item is to nominate and approve a vice president. Could I have a nomination, please?
I'll nominate Mark Cross.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, could I have a motion to close the nominations?
Move to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now could I have, we are going to now approve the nomination of Dr. Cross as vice president. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. So now we have a president and vice president. Our next item of business is to approve trustee appointments for 2025. I've given you last year's list. I will read it. Police Commissioner last year was Mr. Stubbs. The Road Commissioner was Mr. Potter. Zoning Commissioner, Dr. Cross. The Parks Oversight Committee was Mr. Potter. The Fire EMS Oversight Committee was Dr. Cross. The Senior Oversight Committee, Dr. Cross. Pool Oversight Committee, Mr. Potter. Germantown Union Cemetery Board, Mr. Stubbs. The Western Regional Council on Governments, Mr. Stubbs. Would anybody like to make a change to those appointments for 2025?
No.
Then could I have a motion to approve the appointment?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Our next item is to appoint the Health Commissioner for 2025, Health Insurance Coordinator, excuse me, for 2025. Last year with Shauna Close. Unless you'd like to make a change, we can have a motion to appoint her.
I'll make a motion to appoint Shauna Close as Health Insurance Coordinator.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then our next item is to approve purchasing agents for 2025. Last year, they were as follows: the Road and Service Department, Mr. Holbrook; the Police Department, Chief Birch and Ms. Close; the Zoning, Ms. Close; the Trash District, Ms. Close; and the General Fund, myself. Would you like to make any changes to that?
No.
Would someone then make a motion to approve that list for 2025?
Motion to approve the 2025 purchasing agents.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next item is to approve our 2025 regular meeting schedule. Unless you want to change it, we currently meet on the second Monday at 7 o'clock, except when that meeting date falls on a holiday. And if we And then in that case, we use the day following the holiday. And I should have said that's the 2025 October meeting would be delayed because our regular meeting night is coming Columbus Day in October is on Columbus Day. So we will have it on Tuesday the next day. And then work sessions and special meetings are announced as needed. Any changes to any of that you'd like to see? I have a motion to approve the regular meeting schedule.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're now going to do a series of resolutions. The very first one is to establish the 2025 salaries of the trustees and the fiscal officer. And for the last couple of years, we've had it at 100% of the annualized amount allowable under the Ohio Revised Code. Would you like to make any changes to this year? If not, could someone please introduce Resolution 2025-01?
I'll introduce Resolution 2025-01, a resolution to establish the 2025 salaries of the German Township trustees and fiscal officer at 100% of the annualized amount allowable under the ORC.
Second.
Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-01 is adopted. Resolution 2025-02 will be to increase the salaries of all other township personnel by 5% effective January 1st of this year. And that is what you discussed and informally approved back at the regular December meeting and what was included in the budgets we reviewed this past Monday night. Would someone introduce 2025-02?
I'll introduce Resolution 2025-02, a resolution to increase the salaries of all township personnel other than elected officials by 5% effective January 1st, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion of the resolution? Now to call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-02 is adopted. Resolution 2025-03 will authorize me as fiscal officer to establish the 2025 revenue budget that will total $3,413,241. I've given you the breakout. I will then be submitting that to the Montgomery County Auditor, but that is the revenue budget that you reviewed by fund at our meeting Monday night. Would someone introduce this resolution?
I'll introduce resolution 2025-03, a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to establish the attached 2025 revenue budget.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-03 is adopted. Resolution 2025-04 will authorize me as fiscal officer to establish the 2025 permanent appropriations. Those will total $3,764,978.51. I did not add that into the report that you're looking at, but it is in the file that I attached to the when I sent you the email with tonight's agenda. And those cannot exceed the amounts in the 2025 official certificate of estimated resources, which is issued by the Montgomery County Auditor. Someone would like to introduce that resolution?
I'll introduce resolution 2025-04. Thank you. A resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to establish the attached 2025 permanent appropriations totaling $3,764,978.51. Such appropriations not to exceed the amounts of the 2025 official certificate of estimated resources issued by the Montgomery County Auditor.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I will call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-04 is adopted. Our next resolution, 2025-05, will be to continue our existing health benefits for 2025 for all full-time employees who work at least 30 hours per week. And that would include medical, dental, and vision.
I'll introduce resolution 2025-05, a resolution to continue existing healthcare benefits in 2025 for all full-time employees who work at least 30 hours per week, including medical, dental, and vision insurance.
Second.
This is becoming a habit here. Any discussion of the resolution? I will call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2025-05 is adopted. Our next resolution, 2025-06, is to continue miscellaneous payments, and that is for 2025. This is what happens when you use last year's template and don't look at it carefully. It's $1 a year for our reserve officer honorarium for Officer Choquet, and $15 per meeting, our expense reimbursement for attendance at regular and alternate members of the Zoning Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I'll introduce resolution 2025-06, a resolution to continue the following miscellaneous payments for 2025, $1 per year for the reserve police officer and $15 per meeting expense reimbursement for the regular and alternate zoning commission and appeals members.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-06 is adopted. Our next resolution, 2025-07, allocates the 2025 trustee and fiscal officer salaries and benefits to various funds to reflect the amount of time each elected official spends on behalf of those funds. And for 2024, Dr. Cross was 100%. Mr. Potter to the general fund. Mr. Potter was 50% to the general fund, 50% to the gasoline tax fund. Mr. Stubbs was 40% to the general fund, 50% to the police fund, district fund, 10% to the garbage and waste fund. And finally, for myself, 40% to the general fund, 25% to the gasoline tax fund, 25% to the police district fund, and 10% to the garbage and waste. And since you did not change any of your assignments as commissioners, I think we will end up using the same percentages and the same people for 2025. Whoever introduces this, I don't think you need to read all of it, just the first sentence.
Okay, I'll introduce resolution 2025-07, a resolution to allocate the 2025 trustee and fiscal officer salaries to various funds to reflect the amount of time that each elected official spends on behalf of those funds.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Calling the roll, Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-07 is adopted. Resolution 2025-08 will be to continue in 2025 the direct deposit for employees of their payroll and to authorize 2025 payment of payroll withholdings and other vendor payments by electronic transfer, including use of the First National Bank of Germantown online bill payment system.
I'll introduce resolution 2025-08, a resolution to continue the 2025 direct deposit for employees and to authorize 2025 payment of payroll withholdings and other vendor payments by electronic transfer, including the use of the First National Bank of Germantown online bill payment system.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Calling the roll, Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-08 is adopted. Our last resolution for tonight, 2509, allocates the 2025 monthly interest to the Sunbury Cemetery Perpetual Care Fund and to the Fouts Trust Fund, both of which are allowed by the state of Ohio and will be based on each fund's pro rata month-end balance.
I'll introduce resolution 2025-09, a resolution to allocate the 2025 monthly interest to the Sunbury Cemetery Perpetual Care Fund and the Fouts Trust Fund as allowed by the state of Ohio based on each fund's prorated month-end balance.
Second.
Any discussion? Calling the roll, Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-09 is adopted. The final item for me tonight is a motion to approve the 15th and the last day of the month, or if either fall on a weekend or holiday, the last normal business day prior, as the payday for employees of the township during 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I am done. Trustee Stubbs, President Stubbs, do you have anything you'd like to do tonight?
No, just thank Dr. Cross for being president the last several years of the board and did a fantastic job. And I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:15. A new record.